we work with, or just people in general, they enjoy travel. And they always want to, work and travel into the budget a lot of times is a non-negotiable. Also considering the fact that Andrew is currently in the midst of a travel. We wanted to pose the question or think through what are some practical tips that we want to think through or talk through when we want to incorporate travel into financial planning and also thinking of it from a wealth building perspective.
So very important. So yes, Fred is right. I am currently in Puerto Morelos, outside of Cancun, Mexico, and it's beautiful. Watch the sunrise here in the Caribbean Sea, in an Airbnb. So travel is one of my favorite things to do. It's very important, and as we talk with clients, that is something that they echo. So, we're trying to figure out how to travel without blowing the budget, right? We have a lot of opportunity where wanting to travel or booking flights or booking trips or going places can throw off a monthly, annual budget. And we work and break down budgets with folks. So here's some of the things that I've found tactically on how I book and tactically on how me and Lauren travel that's been really, really helpful. The first thing is how and where you travel really matters. So we are in Puerto Morelos. It's about 35 minutes outside of Cancun. It's a smaller town. We went into Cancun on Saturday, and it was the most expensive day that we spent by far here, right? And so we're in Mexico. We're spending dollars in pesos. That can be really helpful for someone who has dollars and accumulates dollars. So my first thing is where you go, smaller towns, places in which aren't huge tourist destinations can be really helpful for making your money go longer. And I say how you travel matters because flight, we're talking international today, but most of our trips in the next 3 months are road trips. And so, deciding locations where you can get away, you can find booking, you can book places, but it doesn't have to break the bank. And a lot of times we're trying to do long weekends, Friday to Monday, Saturday to Tuesday, and do those on less than $500 total, right? Because we're driving. So how and where you travel really matters. If we're talking international, I really want to stay on currencies, right? The currencies in which you are spending if you're traveling internationally matter a lot. And not only can you find places and times where certain currencies are easier, like right now, the US dollar to the Mexican peso is down. It was 20-1 when we were here last year. Now it's about 16.5-1, which means that our money is going 1/5 less, right? So things are costing more for us because we're spending in dollars. But there are countries in South America, even euros, certain times where the currency is in your favor. That also goes for booking. When we book, you can book through Google Flight Matrix, and you can search in certain currencies. So you can choose to search in pesos, you can choose to search in euros, and sometimes you can do an arbitrage where it's a lot cheaper to book it in pesos than it is to book it in dollars or you. So those are some of the things that I'm learning. And then the last thing I'm learning, and as we book travel, we decided to go Tuesday to Tuesday. So as we travel Tuesday to Tuesday, our flights and round trip were about $280 a person because we were flying not on a weekend. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are the cheapest times to fly. And so if you can figure out not going Saturday to Saturday, but Tuesday to Tuesday, Wednesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Sunday, things like that, you can get a lot more flight for your money. So those are some things we're working on. And as we talk to clients booking, right, picking the budget for the trip and then fitting a good trip in that budget is really important. And some of the ways you can do that is where you go, how you go, when you go, all matter.
Yeah, no, those are good tips. Stuff that a lot of people may or may not think about. I think one thing you said initially was that you don't want to blow the budget. in order to not blow the budget, you need to have a budget, right? So figuring out um, not only how much can you spend on a trip, but just knowing once you take the trip, what are my parameters when I'm going. So what we do a lot of times when we talk through this with clients is we'll say, hey, how many trips are you wanting to take in a year, right? Um, how much if we total up all those trips would that cost on a year? And then we're saying, hey, so if we're trying to spend 10,000 on trips for the year, how much do we need to set aside each month? So breaking it down monthly really helps. One, see if it makes sense for your spending, but two, looking at how much you're actually spending on these trips for a year. So knowing how much you want to spend annually, knowing how much that costs monthly, thinking through if you have any additional monies coming in, whether it be bonuses or things of that nature, how much do you want to put towards trips? Just having a plan for that money when it comes in. So
Yeah.
those are some good tips, and that's usually how we think through it when we talk with clients. And again, it's for most, if not all clients, I won't say all, travel can be some sort of a non-negotiable, especially coming out of COVID. It's like, hey, we ain't done stuff for the past couple of years. Like we want to go here, and here. So
Yeah. I got a question for you, Fred. If someone wants to look back at, let's say, the last year and figure out how much did they spend on travel, right? You know, we work with clients who get their tax return or get do their taxes and say, man, I made a lot of money. I don't know where it went. Are there any ways that you can help or thoughts about how people can try to figure out how much money did I spend on travel last year or last 6 months or my last trip?
we'd recommend just looking at the spending for that time period. Hey, we were gone for these 2 weeks, or hey, we were gone for these 5 days, and looking at the spending and see where the money went. It helps if you are spending the money all in one place. So if you're using one card for travel, or if it's all coming out of one account, it's better to track it down and see where it went. And that helps from a perspective of keeping up with spending after you set the budget too, right? Hey, we know we're spending, we got 1,500 we want to spend over the next 5, 6, 7 days, whatever it looks like, and just keep track of it that way, coming out of one account.
Yeah, that's good. Tracking on one place. And I think we would be remiss to not talk about travel cards, travel points. That, excuse me, that is very popular way that some people choose to travel, right? And it's also very popular to sell a free travel experience off of travel points that you can have other people paying for your travel. And there are ways of doing that, right? There are cards that give you travel points, and there's like 5 or 6 that are really good. American Express does it well. Chase Sapphire does it well. Citi has a good card. Capital One has a good card. But nothing is free, right? Like nothing is free. And so if you are planning to use a travel card to rack up points that you use for travel, it is paramount that you are paying that card off every month. It is paramount that you are not putting more on that card than you can pay off when that billing cycle is over. Because if you get a free $300 plane ticket, but you carry a balance of $5,000 for a long period of time after that trip, right now interest rates are 30% as interest rates went up. So easy math says, that's like $1,500 in interest a year on $5,000 if it sits, right? So there are some times where people are using the travel card, getting a free $300 trip, getting a free $250 to $500 hotel book, and then paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in interest over the year for it, and feeling like they won, but really, they paid 5 times more money for the trip. So I am a fan of travel cards for those who are consistently carrying zero balances. But you have to be careful as you do that, and really look at how your personal credit card usage has been. to determine whether or not you're ready or a person who should be trying to arbitrage a travel car. Yeah.
Good point. Good point. If anybody has questions that they want us to answer on these, feel free to send us a message. Let us know.
Yeah.
Until next time.
All right. Peace, bro.
Peace. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to subscribe. If you want to learn more about how we serve our clients, visit our website at www.alchemistwealth.com.
On the way to being free.